Hello, Colin Andrews here. I've always been a highly inquisitive person and have studied many of the sciences, including biology, meteorology, psychology, geology, and even climate change. This was back in the early 1980s, when I first publicly expressed concerns about rapid change I was seeing. When I discussed this with other scientists, I was told that there was no such thing, and if the planet was to experience these changes, it would not be for hundreds or even thousands of years. It's because of examples like this that I have learned to have confidence and stand your ground. If you have sincere belief, you have something to offer. Outside of conventional science, I was and continue to be fascinated with ancient archaeology and the human condition in the past and its potential for the future. This led me to the longest study I've ever undertaken, that into consciousness, which is ongoing to this day. I'm an electrical engineer by profession and a former senior official in British regional government. But I am best known for my research, writings and television work into what is commonly known as paranormal phenomena, including UFOs, crop circles, a term that I coined, electronic voice phenomena, psychic abilities and power of the human mind, etc. This background was helpful in trying to understand the many strange experiences that were taking place to my small team of researchers while investigating those crop circles and UFOs, and during specific experiments with meditation that not only we were involved in, but others were too. Almost from the beginning of my studies into the mysterious crop circles, and those that were made by people, there were unexplained feelings as if something was observing us or monitoring us. There were increasing occasions which showed us that another awareness was present. Sometimes even our families were involved. One example of family was in 1986, when my mother and father, along with the family dog, drove with me to help measure a single crop circle that appeared in a field of yellow flowers not so very far from our home. My mother remained in the car with the dog, and my father and I measured the circle, which was approximately 200 feet away from the parked car. It was a sunny day, with only small clouds here and there. As we looked towards each other, separated by a measuring tape stretched out at about 45 feet, there was a sudden crackling sound and one single bright flash. We both saw and heard this and could not explain what had happened. My father was a former military officer and was also an electrical engineer. When we returned to the car, my mother asked if we had heard a crackling sound, which she had thought initially was a plastic bag the dog might have been walking on in the back seat of the car. But when she looked back, the dog was sat abruptly upright, obviously having heard also the same sound or was affected by it. There have been so many unexplained events that have happened to us personally and to others around these subjects that prove to me that another mind or awareness was present and involved. The book goes into great detail in many of these cases. When I met my wife Synthia, that's Dr. Synthia Andrews, now more than 2 decades ago, she brought to the research a vast field of study which enhanced and accelerated the understanding of consciousness and the energy and emotional systems of the human body. Her own studies and her professional background blended us into a unique team for this work. On the Edge of Reality is our joint publication, which gives many well-documented cases across a wide spectrum of subject, which shows that nothing is quite the way it might appear, and that we are on the cusp of profound changes of the likes nobody has ever seen before. Here is a small segment from the introduction of the book, a book we are very proud of and honored by the tremendous reception it is getting by those who have read it. The introduction goes, this very small part of it, I believe that we are engaged in a process of integration with a higher mind. What this higher intelligence is and where it originates are unknown. The process of integration has been especially evident over the past 50 years with the exponential increase in high strangeness events. The ultimate purpose is discerned through the interactions we are having as orchestrated events lead us towards a paradigm shift and a new view of reality. This book is not written with irrefutable proof to convince the reader of the events described. It moves beyond the question of whether the events are real and asks instead, what does it mean to us that they are? When we talk about paradigm shifts, we tend to look at social, scientific, and technological trends that usher in new thinking. However, trends ultimately reflect changes in people who are altered through events. Whereas new information engages our mind, events engage our emotions, and emotional shifts push us to expand. The integration of higher mind is occurring through individual encounters with non-ordinary reality. These encounters are called high strangeness events. While they boggle the mind, they also engage our emotions and stimulate our creative capacity. Our mind races to catch up with what our body and emotions already know. Some say the frequency of the planet is changing. It is. A new reality is on the horizon. A new time is being born.